Escaped my religious family's arranged marriage scheme by fleeing the country with nothing but a suitcase and my dreams. I am the youngest, 22, of 5 kids, M30, M28, F28, twins, and F25. My parents are heavily religious and we live in Utah. Growing up, everything had to be done perfectly. It didn't matter if it was grades, looks, social activities, or even friends. I'm different from my siblings as I was never interested in the maths and science like they were. I've always been the writer, the painter. I remember once when I was 13, I made a painting of a dove in a snowy field and won first in the competition. I told my parents, who got angry that I had wasted my time with something so worthless when I should have been using the time to study. I still had A's in every class. My mother won't even say more than a few words to me. She's always seems like she hates me and I don't understand. Father burned the painting to remind me of what was truly important before taking all of my art supplies until I showed more responsibility with my time. It's been like this as long as I can remember. I work full-time, and have since I was 15 at McDonald's, dashing every bit of money I could. Father took half my checks as tithing to help teach me what being an adult was like. I applied to several colleges but was told by my parents that they would not be helping me with tuition as they did for my siblings because they thought sending me to college would just be a waste of money. So I got angry. I am so tired of being the black sheep just because I like the arts more than maths and science. And then, I heard them talking when I got up in the middle of the night about the perfect man they'd found who was willing to take me in. Through our church. I am terrified, and so I'm leaving. I've got some money saved up, a good amount, and I'm leaving the country. I found a job that lets me work remote doing freelance design work, and I've had my passport since I was a kid because of our family. Why vacations overseas? I'm taking nothing other than a change of clothes, my laptop, and important documents I took out of my father's office. I booked a flight that leaves in 5 hours and I'm never coming back. I'm not even going to take my phone since I'd need to get a new number anyway. My best friend, God bless her, had been the one booking things and getting everything ready since I couldn't tip off my parents. She's also smuggled some of my more important things I can't take to hold on to for me. She's parking down the street and I'll leave with my smallest suitcase to meet her. I don't know how they'll take this. I'm terrified they'll find a way to drag me back, or track me down. Update 1. Other than my friend, no one else knew about all of this. I thought I'd explain something before telling everything that's happened. So I did think about the police, but my uncle is a sheriff and is still very close with my father. I didn't dare go to them for anything because I fear they would have just told my father. The church is widespread and mainstream, LDS, but I hope that my father wouldn't be able to pull enough strings in it to get to me. My siblings are also involved with the church and my parents, though only I was forced to live at home until I had a husband to support me. I don't get along with them as they've never seen anything wrong with how my parents treat me. My friend is completely amazing, she really is. She was ready and waiting for me when I crawled out through my window to meet her even though it was 3 a.m. She bought my tickets to South Africa. I am in a hotel room. I landed only 2 hours ago after several layovers. Each time I was so worried that customs would decline or deny me entrance, but they didn't. I haven't slept yet, too wired up and twitchy. My hope is to gain citizenship, and I'm almost fluent in Zulu as I've always been a fan of languages. I already have an email from my father, but I haven't opened it yet. One thing my friend did when I met her in the car was that she'd bought another small suitcase and made me move my things to it before chucking my old one in a dumpster behind Taco Bell. She was worried they may have put a tracker or air tag in the lining of my old one. I was afraid I'd see someone I knew at the airport, but Salt Lake International is massive and I didn't run across anyone. I haven't decided if I should renounce my US citizenship when I gain my new one. Once my brain settles a bit, I'm going to start looking into apartments to get out of the hotel. Oh, that's unsettling. I now have emails from my siblings and uncle. I'll try to update in a few days when I've calmed down and figured out where I'm going to go from here. Update 2. So, I was advised to remove the location destination from my post, so all I will say is that I'm in South Africa right now and it's amazing. The food is astonishing, and a poster here messaged me to recommend that I try bunny chow, which is actual authentic curry in a bread bowl. It was phenomenal. I got to chatting with one of the hotel staff. She's about my age and we really hit it off. She went with me to a local shopping center to get some new and better clothes. At least I'm used to wearing dresses, so that doesn't faze me, and they're very lightweight and breathable unlike a lot of US dress fabrics. She also told me to always shake out my shoes every morning just in case. I've started apartment hunting, and it's well within my budget, like super low compared to how sky high it is in the US. It's honestly jaw-dropping. Like $81 for a studio apartment with a loft and kitchenette. So yeah, housing won't be an issue, and it is a bit odd to be house shopping for myself when I've always lived with my parents. Now on to the less pleasant bits. I finally opened the emails, deciding it was best to probably get it over with. My father's email was filled with anger, there is no other way to put it. He said that by taking off responsibly like I did cost them the friendship of someone they'd planned on introducing to me. He never admitted that it was the 53-year-old they'd basically sold me to. Father stated that because of the social relations that had been damaged and impacted by my actions, I owe them approximately $85,000 in reparations. He also claims that he will be taking me to court if I don't pay it in full within 30 days and return home, as I obviously cannot be trusted. I plan to ignore that, as I believe him to be bluffing. He ended his email/rant with "You belong to me, and I won't tolerate such defiance when we've put a roof over your head and taken care of you for your entire life. You were never the child we expected. It's time you make up for your deficiencies. I expect you home within the next 2 weeks." Yeah. No. My siblings were basically copies of my father's email, admonishing me for throwing the efforts of our parents in their faces before running off like a coward unwilling to face the fallout of my actions. I skimmed them honestly, before just deleting them. It's nothing I didn't expect. However, my sister-in-law, she's married to my eldest brother, sent her own email before asking me not to reply, as she would be deleting every sign she sent it from her end. She congratulated me on stepping out on my own and getting away from my parents and their demands. She said that she herself hadn't been strong-willed enough to stand up to her parents when they basically betrothed her to my brother. Which makes sense, as I remember that they met and then married within 6 months, and even then I thought that was a bit strange. She pleaded with me not to return, and not to reply. That was it. It was a bit unnerving honestly, as I do believe her, and I'm sad that she is stuck the way she is. The last email was from my best friend. She said that the morning after I flew out, my parents had been on their doorstep demanding to see me. Apparently they believed I was hiding with her. They refused to leave, screaming for me to stop pretending I wasn't there. It caused enough of a scene that the police were called, but they only talked to my parents briefly and let them leave. It really angered my friend, who'd wanted them arrested for threats and trespassing. The police only claimed that there wasn't a pattern of behavior that would warrant them being arrested and charged. Before just leaving. She didn't know when they realized I wasn't there at her house, but they didn't come back, thankfully. However, word has spread of me fleeing the safety of my parents' home and how they wanted me to return, as they were concerned and fearful of what may happen with me out on the streets alone. The church ward has actually done searches of the area trying to find me. I don't know what they'll do from here, but they have no idea I left the country, let alone the state. My friend has no plans to say anything, and neither do I. As far as I'm concerned right now, they can live with that state of wondering for the rest of eternity. I don't think I will renounce my US citizenship, as there may come a day when I need it, and it's better to be safe than sorry. But I have full plans to gain dual citizenship as soon as I am able to. That's it for now, no other parts yet, but if anything changes I'll let you know. I want to thank you all for your comments and private messages. It feels like I've got friends and family on my side, and I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Update 3. Ironically, my use of maths instead of just math comes from my mother, who is British and met my father in England when they were 22. So I do come by it naturally, and my siblings say it that way as well. I thank you for drawing my attention to the TT videos broadcasting my story, though why they changed the name I don't know. I did report them, but we'll have to see if they ever pull the videos down or at least edit them. Second is people questioning why I chose South Africa, CA and Johannesburg of all places because of how dangerous it can be. I do understand the risks, but there is nowhere on this planet that is inherently danger-free. Africa is massive and incredibly diverse, finding someone would be very difficult, and because those videos got so much attention I have left Johannesburg sadly. I'm very far though, obviously still in Africa. The area I'm in now is incredibly safe, and came highly recommended by several people. Settling here will be very comfortable and the people are wonderful. I may even attend the university here and get a degree. I haven't replied to the emails, but I have saved them and printed copies and laminating them just in case. I will not be renouncing my US citizenship, and my passport is good for another 8 years. I don't hate religion, regardless of what it is. In my eyes, a person's relationship with God is incredibly personal. If a person connects with him via camping, or walks, long drives, listening to music, acts of service, that's their choice, and it's just as valid in my opinion as sitting in a pew is. Possibly more, as they're honest with themselves instead of just putting on a false facade for the public eye. I plan on ignoring any further emails from my family, other than printing them out just in case. They've made several phone calls to my friend who's had fun with them. The first time your father called yelling that I hand you over, I pretended to be cowed and gave him your location. It took him to a strip club. He came back screaming at how I had embarrassed him. I just hung up on him honestly. She did that each time they called, giving a different location each time. Her favorite was sending my parents to a nudist retreat. My mother passed out apparently. My friend is looking to move and eventually plans to join me, but will jump around a bit so that they don't follow her to me. I did finally read my uncle's email, but it was just a copy of my father's with the added comment that he and his fellow cops would be looking for me to bring me home safe before I got myself in trouble and hurt. I am being watchful, and I know better than to wander into dark alleyways and abandoned places. That's all I've got for now. If anything changes I'll let you all know. It's heartwarming seeing and reading how many people are on my side and in my corner. I've actually begun printing out everyone's messages and comments to put in a binder I can look back on later. Truly, thank you all, I mean it. Your friend amuses me with her petty, spiteful creativity. Pity she couldn't keep your parents strung along a bit more. A pro tip: if coerced or forced by agents sent by your family onto a plane, have a metal spoon on you tucked away. It will be detected by the metal detectors. You can then, when pulled aside by security, explain that you are being taken against your will and being trafficked. You have moxie. It'll take you far. It's already taken you far away from those who would grind you down. Update 4. Hello everyone, it's been a while since my last update and a few things have happened that I was told by my friend that I needed to share since everyone was still clearly rooting for me. I have settled in a bit here, and am now enjoying the fun of paperwork. Oh, so much paperwork. I have secured an apartment, and while it's 2 bedrooms, one is for my friend when she comes to join me. I've made a few acquaintances here locally and am beginning to stand on my own a bit. My biggest challenge has been dealing with feeling uncomfortable because I don't know all of those unspoken rules the way I did in the US. As such, I'm constantly second-guessing myself, but hopefully that will fade with time. So, family. My family has learned I left the state. How they did, I'm not sure. They do, however, seem convinced that I am still in the continental US. My friend works as a cartoonist, and while she doesn't make a large amount of money, she makes more than enough to live comfortably. She's getting ready to leave herself and decided to send my parents a farewell gift. She didn't tell me about this until just a little bit ago. She spent a few hours carefully drawing my parents as they visited each location she sent them to, including their reactions, and all scenes were ended with the phrase "Abbott, Abbott, Abbott, that's all folks." Sadly, while I've never seen Looney Tunes, as she named it, she said she portrayed my dad as similar to a coyote? I'm still not a 100% sure what that means, but she said everyone else would. Before then ordering me to watch it. Maybe one day. She should be joining me around October 9th, after country hopping several times. All the things she hasn't sold are in a secured storage unit, including the things she's been holding for me. The biggest revelation came after my father. Well, he had a meltdown apparently after I never responded to him. He got into a fight with my mother in church, and many things were said. Among those, according to several, that my mother had cheated on my father, which, well, led to me. Which is why she never liked me, I guess, as I just reminded her of her mistakes. My father took her back in spite of that, but well, there it is. It caused a big stir in the ward, and meetings were held, though I obviously don't know what was said or done. I may never know, honestly. I am trying to move on and am even contemplating getting a tattoo. Part of me really wants to, while another points out that if I change enough and father finds me, he won't want me then. That's all really for now. I'm not sure if I'll have anything else to share, but if anything happens I'll let you all know. Update 5. Hello everyone, sorry this update has taken so long. Once my friend arrived things got really hectic. She's been settling in well, and it has been a huge relief to have her here with me, as it gives me a sense of security that I didn't really have before. We've been taking time to build new routines, finding a new normal, I guess, that works for us both. It's been a challenge, but at the same time, everything has been so different one day to the next that it's kept the days from seeming boring or blurring together. One of the elderly neighbors I've been talking to a lot since I moved here has also invited the both of us to spend Christmas with her and her family. They're going to have a goat as the main meat, which is different, but I'm excited to try. It's odd to not see Christmas trees everywhere, but that's still a new thing, so it's not common here. But her granddaughter is teaching my friend and I some of the dances we'll be doing, as Christmas celebrations here are more like a festive party and gathering rather than a slow day spent with just gifts. It's odd, as even in my family we'd only ever be given 3 gifts. One for our body, one for the mind, and the last for the soul, to honor the Trinity according to my parents. Last year I think I received a new Sunday dress, a set of physics textbooks, and a new log journal for my scripture reading. After gift openings we'd each retreat to our rooms and remain there until dinner was ready, usually made by mother and myself. Yet here, they're planning on doing our hair, having dances and music with food and laughter. Gifts are still given obviously, but the day is spent more with those around you than on material things. I'm excited. I've decided to ignore my family for now. I've gotten a lot of questions on why I didn't report them or confront them, and the answer is easy and may seem a bit childish, but the thought of facing them like that terrifies me. I don't want to be around them, talk to them, or think about them. I'm genuinely scared that trying to bring justice will only drag me right back into the mess I ran from. I'm 22 and yet I'm terrified of my own family. So that's why I'm not doing anything to them. I just want to pretend, even if only for a bit, that my life isn't messed up and freakish, if that makes any say at all. I don't know where I will be a year from now, but somehow, the thought doesn't worry me. I'm happy, genuinely happy, and excited to see where things will go from here. Thank you everyone. Really, I mean it. Looking back, it's mind-blowing how things have changed, and there is still so much I get to do. I know there are people here from all over the world. I'd love to hear your holiday traditions. I don't care if it's not Christmas, I just love to hear what you do this time of year and your traditions. I'm trying to figure out my new normal, and what I like, so I'd love any suggestions, be it food, music, dances, anything really. Update 6. I'm sorry it's been so long since I last came on here, and my friend reminded me the other day that I may want to come back if only to see what's been said and check my messages. It's been a bit of a ride since my last post. First off, to alleviate any concerns, no, my family has not found me. I thank the heavens for that every day. My father eventually realized I was out of the country about a month after my previous post, and as I'd worried he'd do, he reached out to the church to see if they had any idea where I'd gone. A missionary came across me, and when they kept coming by, at least once a day, my friend decided enough was enough. She asked me if I still wanted to remain in the church or at least this branch of it, and I said no. So, we went down to the local steakhouse center and I met with the stake president and made it clear I wanted my name removed from the records. He tried to dissuade me, explain that it was a drastic step to take as it made any covenants or oaths null and void. I would essentially be no one to them. No records of baptism, classes, temple visits. Nothing. And while it hurt, I didn't back down. Honestly, I might have folded, but my friend remained by my side the entire time. So, I'm officially no longer part of the church. I don't think I'll go back. Not after all of this. That first holiday celebration was hard, if only because I felt so separated from everything I'd known prior. There was no familiar aspect, other than my friend. However, just because it was hard, doesn't mean it wasn't also amazing. It was so different, so new that it kept me engaged with being in the present rather than dwelling on my family. My friend and I decided we want to travel a bit in a while, but we're taking our time to plan it out and save so that we're not stressed on money or time when we go. Plus, it will give me time to finish out some of my classes here. I did join the college here, taking classes not for a degree admittedly, but simply because they sounded fun and engaging. I've really enjoyed it here. I know a lot of people were wary of coming here, or at least to this part of the world. I want to reassure everyone that while I do fully understand the possible risks, I don't want to let fear control my life anymore. I'm careful, I pay attention, but I'm living, for what feels like the first time in forever. I feel like I can breathe. I'm still afraid of my father and family, I won't lie about that. My siblings still send periodic emails in an attempt to convince me to return home, but I don't reply. Same for the emails my father and uncle send me. My father is still just as angry and slighted by my actions. He's facing some odd and probing questions from the community back home, and he feels like what I did caused irreversible damage to his reputation. Nothing really dramatic has happened, thank heavens, and hopefully it stays that way. I'm still considering the tattoo, and I still want it. My friend suggested getting a mark done on my arm here in traditional style, and then add another from each country we visit. It wouldn't be a full sleeve, but it would wrap around my upper arm like a band. I like the idea, so we'll see. Now on to second story. Mother-in-law said she never liked me until I lost weight, and now I'm questioning if I should host Thanksgiving. My partner and I have dated for a few years, lived together for 2. When I first met his mom, I was very nervous and wanted her to like me. I learned some customs that show respect and did them. I cooked meals from scratch for her that she loved. Holidays were hosted in our home. I would cook for days and serve the whole family, making sure every detail was perfect. Holidays were lovely. I never had times like that with my own family and was grateful to the point of tearing up many times, not in front of my partner's family. My partner and I have a business that takes up much of our time and hadn't seen his mother much lately, so I planned a day to pick her up, take her to a local coffee shop she enjoys, and to lunch. As soon as she saw me, she immediately commented that I had lost weight and complimented me multiple times, then asking to take selfies with me so she could post them on Facebook because I looked so pretty. I have had issues with eating disorders in the past, so the comments did make me feel weird. But I knew she was trying to compliment me, so I didn't say anything. We went to lunch and she wanted to take more selfies and was again complimenting my looks. She said you were okay before but too overweight. I don't know why this hurt me, but it did. I blinked back tears, and the food came. I couldn't eat it, and found myself pushing food around and only taking some bites of dry salad. My partner and mom ate, either not noticing that I wasn't really eating or not commenting on it. I did not want to cause a scene because again, I knew she was trying to say something nice, but she is very blunt. She is not aware that I used to starve myself. She probably wouldn't have said it if she did. After lunch, she needed to go to the restroom, so I helped her. She's in her 80s and uses a cane but needs to be steadied. While she was washing her hands, she told me, I never liked you, but you're okay now. That did it. I couldn't hide the hurt, and why more? I teared up and stammered awkwardly that her son would be right back to help her walk to the table. I went to the table and quietly told my partner I would take an Uber home, that I was upset about something his mom said, but I would see him at home. His mom tried to call me, but I decided not to answer. I guess the reason I'm feeling so upset is that I'm feeling like I'm only worth something if I'm thinner. I also thought she always liked me. She acted like she did. Now it all feels fake. I don't want to host Thanksgiving anymore. Why should I kill myself cooking for days for someone who only really liked me when I lost a few pounds? My partner thinks I'm overreacting and I misunderstood her. He said it's normal for Mills to not like Dills at first because we take away their sons. But I didn't take him away. He is the one who hasn't made an effort to spend much time with her. Every time we have seen her is because I organized it. But she's old, she's a blunt Asian mom, and she doesn't know I had eating disorders. So am I the asshole for wanting to cancel Thanksgiving? Should I just forgive her and suck it up so the family has a nice Thanksgiving together? Update 1. She indeed did not mean to hurt my feelings or say anything with bad intentions. She really thought she was just complimenting me. She was very sorry for hurting me and wants to move on, She says she accepts me and loves me. Honestly, I've had a rough couple of months with unrelated issues, and I think her comments yesterday were just the straw that broke the camel's back. My boyfriend did get defensive when we talked about what happened, but he agreed to back me up if it happens again and talk to her about not mentioning my weight. He also supports me correcting her or letting her know if she's being rude in the future. As far as Thanksgiving, I decided that the family being together is more important than my hurt feelings. I do enjoy making it nice for everyone. We don't know how many years she have left, and I think I can let this incident go for now. I'm not confident that she will change, but I can probably handle anything for a couple days a year.